Hello everyone, welcome back to Upcoming Eyes. So today we'll be heading on with chapter 2, that is what is democracy and why democracy. So first we'll have an overview. This chapter explores the definition of democracy, its features and distinguishing it from non-democratic governments. It aims to understand the minimum features of a democratic form of government and explores its popularity and advantages over other forms of government. Next we'll read about what is democracy. This text discusses the concept of democracy and its differences from other governments like Chile's Pinochet rule, Poland's communist rule, and Ghana's Nkrumah rule. It also explores common features of democratic and non-democratic governments as well as the definition of democracy. You can have a look at this snippets of newspaper article that has been given. Simple definition. In a discussion, Matilda Lingdor argues that definitions are necessary only when a word is used for different purposes. As different governments call themselves democracy, she suggests that the word democracy comes from the Greek word demokratia, meaning rule by the people. However, Lingdor argues that words do not remain tied to their origin and their meaning can change over time. She suggests that there is no shortcut to thinking about the matter ourselves and that there is no one size fits all way to define democracy. The discussion focuses on the similarities and differences among democracies, such as the government being chosen by the people. Okay. So if you want, you can have a look at this green snippet and have a look at this picture. The cartoon was drawn when elections were held in Iraq with the presence of US and other foreign powers. What do you think this cartoon is saying? Why is democracy written the way it is? Okay, the definition of democracy is people's rule, but it's misleading to call every government that holds an election a democracy. It's essential to distinguish between a democracy and one pretending to be one. Right? So let's discuss about the features of democracy. Democracy is a form of government where rulers are elected by the people. It raises questions about who are the rulers, which officials must be elected, and which decisions may be taken by non-elected officials. Examples include Pakistan's General Pervez Musharraf, Syria's Baath Party, and China's ruling. Okay, if you want, you can have a look at this picture. Similarly, here another cartoon has been given which signifies what democracy actually means. So, free and fair electoral competition. Pakistan's President General Musharraf issued a legal framework order in 2002 allowing the president to dismiss national and provincial assemblies. However, the final decision-making power rests with military officers and General Musharraf. This is not a democracy, as rulers are not elected by the people. Similar situations exist in China and Mexico, where elections are held every 6 years to elect the president. Here another cartoon has been given. If you want, you can pause the video and have a look at this. So the text discusses the challenges faced in democratic elections, such as the PRI party in China and Mexico, which lack serious choice and potential for removing rulers. It emphasizes the importance of free and fair elections where current rulers have a fair chance of losing. The text also discusses the denial of equal voting rights in countries like Saudi Arabia, Estonia, and Fiji, emphasizing the need for a democratic system based on political equality. Here another cartoon has been given. It is, I think, about the scenario of Iraq, Saddam Hussein's regime. Okay, the cartoon discusses the Iraqi election and the rule of law in Zimbabwe, where President Robert Mugabe uses unfair practices in elections and has limited the right to criticize the president. The cartoon highlights the importance of democratic processes, respecting citizens' basic rights, and ensuring fairness in the eyes of law. Democracy is a form of government where rulers are elected by the people who take all major decisions, and elections offer a fair opportunity to change rulers. This choice is available to all on an equal basis, and the exercise of this choice leads to a government limited by constitutional law and citizens' rights. If you want, you can pause the video and have a look at this green snippet. Now we'll discuss about why democracy. Debating merits of democracy. In a class discussion, students debated whether democracy was the best form of government. They argued that democracy can lead to chaos, instability, corruption, and hypocrisy. They suggested that a strong leader with all powers could remove corruption and poverty. However, they argued that comparing a real democracy with an ideal dictatorship is unfair, as real dictators are often corrupt and self-centered. Arguments against democracy and arguments for democracy. Have a look at this picture, and the description of this cartoon has been given in the right side in pink color. Right? So the discussion revolves around the arguments against democracy, such as instability, political competition, power play, delays, elected leaders not knowing the people's best interests, corruption, and ordinary people's lack of decision-making power. However, democracy is not the ideal form of government and may not solve all problems. The real question is whether democracy is better than other forms of government. The discussion also touches on the hidden side of dictatorship, as seen in Brazil's The Hidden Side of Dictatorship. Here another cartoon has been given. It is, I think, about the election scenario in Canada. Okay, so you can pause the video and have a look at this, and you can also have a look at the check your progress green snippet. Democracy is considered the best form of government due to its ability to respond to the needs of the people, lead to better decisions, deal with differences and conflicts, and enhance the dignity of citizens. It is based on political equality, recognizing that the poor and least educated have the same status as the rich and educated. Democracy also allows for correction of its own mistakes, as there is no guarantee that mistakes cannot be made in a non-democratic government. This makes it better than other alternatives, as it offers better chances of good decisions, respects people's wishes, and allows different kinds of people to live together despite not being the solution to all problems. Democracy is considered the best form of government. So now we'll discuss about broader meanings of democracy. Below a cartoon has been given, whose description has been given in the left side of this page. Read the cartoon. Okay. So this chapter explores the meaning of democracy in a limited and descriptive sense, focusing on representative democracy. In modern democracies, a majority of people rule through elected representatives, as it is physically impossible for them to take collective decisions. Democracy is a principle that can be applied to any sphere of life, including government, families, and organizations. It involves consultation and consent of all affected parties, regardless of power. It can also be used to set an ideal standard for all democracies, such as equal rights to vote, education, resources, and commitment. Understanding democracy as an ideal helps judge existing democracies and distinguish between minimal and good ones. No country is a perfect democracy, as it requires constant effort to achieve democratic decision-making ideals. Citizen actions can significantly impact a country's democratic status, distinguishing it from other governments that do not require active participation. So here our chapter end, guys. So thank you so much for today's class. If you have got any reviews regarding the video or any kind of improvement, please do let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much.